Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Time to talk some sport and catch up with my mate, Paul Steinmetz, and we will talk a little bit of rugby. Paul, how are you? How's your throat?
Well, thank you, Rob.
You better?
I'm getting better. I feel like I'm over the top of the hill. I'm becoming good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You sound a bit like Kim Khan still, but that's okay. That's okay. She can sing. All right, let's look back at the All Blacks, I guess, and it'll be pretty disappointing for them, but they really weren't in the game, were they?
Yeah, it's funny how many, and you would have heard a lot from people through the course of the week. There's disappointment, but the fact that it wasn't a 1 point game, or it wasn't hinging on a ref's decision. We just got fair and square done, and I think there's a bit of resignation that they were the better team on the day, and they deserved to be in the final. Oh yeah,
no doubt about that. It's just that They just weren't in the game, were they? They got murdered straight up. I mean, the way England attacked at them, they were a bit shell-shocked.
Yeah, I think, that minute and a half, they scored a try off about 4 or 5 really strong phases, and, you kind of knew it was game on, and I kept waiting for the All Blacks to, start making some massive hits behind their advantage line and, maybe hold the ball for 10 or 12 phases and stretch them, but none of that came about, and every time there was maybe a dubious pass or something, it would go to ground, whereas sometimes in other games, you manage to string that kind of stuff together. But no, we weren't on the medal it's not that we weren't on the medal, but England were very good, and maybe we were 5% off the pace.
Yeah, that was the way it looked all the time. Okay, well, they've got some redemption, haven't they? They play a side that you would know reasonably well in Wales, and it won't be easy. And they've switched around things here for this game as well. Some of the guys that just haven't had a chance are going to get a chance, aren't they? It's their last hurrah.
Yeah, I think it's the coach's last hurrah. There's a lot of players on their final game. I think there's a massive disappointment from last week, and sometimes these third and fourth playoffs, I think, you go in with a bit of a fizzer, but I actually think that actually could well be another really strongly contested game, and I actually really like the All Black team that's been picked. I think there's a few guys in there that have a point to prove. And I think you'll see some strong viewings, and Wales is exactly the same. So I'm actually thinking that's going to be quite a good game, and may well be more of a spectacle than what the final will be.
Yeah, it will. And for some, it's just the end of the road for them, isn't it? Including the coach. So, some pressure goes on, and it's something, even though you think, it's, third and fourth, who cares? But you want to win it.
Yeah, I think you do, and they'll want to win it for Steve. Steve's been pretty big part of their success over the last few years, so he won't want to go out losing the last 2 test matches and putting a blemish on his record. There's a bit to play for, and like you say, a number of players playing their last game. So, I think they'll put in what I hope will be a pretty strong performance.
Okay, will the Springboks put a bit of pressure on this England side, do you think?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they certainly put a bit of pressure on our forwards in that very first game, and I think they'll take a bit of confidence that they can probably do the job physically up front. And you just never know, if they can get some dominance up front, then it's a completely different game for England, as it was for the All Blacks not quite having that dominance up front. So there'll be massive onus on them to their front eight to put it to them, and if they can do that, then who knows. But they'll play possibly a bit more of a physical game, a lot more driving lineouts, a bit more kicking, and it creates a different game, and we'll see what England can do to combat that. Yeah,
well, it'll be interesting too, because guys like England probably fear most is Damien de Allende, imposing present at centre. He really does put sides under pressure, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and mind you, the old English with Tuolingi is not such a bad option as well. So, listen, they've got some strong centres, and I think the one thing that we did notice from last week's game with the All Blacks is the importance of getting over the gain line, and that will be the case again for both teams. So, listen, those big guys and their forwards, they're going to have to work pretty hard because they're both very physical teams, and probably two of the most physical forward backs in the competition, so it's only right that they're probably in the final.
Okay, who are you picking?
Picking England, simply because they put us to the sword last week and we beat South Africa early in the tournament, but I think if South Africa can get things right and maybe play a lot more territory and really front up physically, who knows.
Okay, mate. It's great to talk to you, and we'll catch you again next week and see how everything goes.
Good man. Thanks, Ron.
All right, that's Paul Steinmetz with us here.
106.3 Beach FM.